sure that's gonna loop right around. So now we should have it. The reason this is looping is because I have my preferences set. So if I click on a region and that selects this region, it will set my loop in and out markers. And if I have this playback set to loop here, if I right click, if I have that set to loop, then I can quickly audition anything that I have selected. I'm using just spacebar for that. And if I want to return, I'm using the return key on the main part of the keyboard. All right, so moving along, I've now got that in there. I'm going to go back to the Total Control audio folder that I have and find that hip hop beat that I had before, or something similar. This is Hip Hop Anonymous. That's recorded at 90. This is recorded at 80. We should be able to make that work. So we'll find a stereo loop here. Maybe that's a little too busy. Yeah, I like this. This is pretty simple. So I'm going to use the same technique. Now note, I don't have any of these things set. These controls will enable elastic audio. So I want all those off. I'm just going to put this into my project at its original tempo, which initially won't match. We're manually matching it rather than trying to use elastic audio. So this is a drum part, and we're going to use the TCE trimmer. And so I'll put this on TCE trimmer. Now the problem that I didn't talk about with the TCE trimmer is that it degrades the quality of the audio if you leave it on the standard. If you leave it on the standard setting, you may have noticed that last time. So we need to go into the options if we're going to be working on stretching drums in particular. In the preferences section of Pro Tools, under processing, there's some setups for the TCE, or the time compression expansion, where you can even pick which plugin to use. So you can buy fancier plugins that do a better job if you have a high-end Pro Tools system. But out of the box, you have this DigiDesign one and this Time Shift one. And the Time Shift one is the one that I've been using. And it allows you to pick which kind of instrument, and this is drums, rhythmic. So now when I go and use the TCE tool, it will use this algorithm for stretching, and it will sound better than if you don't adjust that. And so I'm going to do the time shifting to the drums, not to the instrument. So first of all, let's hear what we've got. Right, which is a nice train wreck. I'm going to turn the volume of that down. But this is simply stretched. Now I don't need the click anymore. All right, so if I was going to work on this song a little bit, the first thing I realize is that every 4 bars, this particular loop, this particular drum loop, is starting on a crash. I'm going to disable the TCE trimmer because I'm actually finished with that for the time being. And I am going to make sure grid mode is on. I'll set the, I'm going to set this setting up here. This is for how it's snapped to 1 bar. And I'm going to cut this thing apart with the B command on all the measure boundaries. So this last little piece represents a type of a fill. And so I'm going to rename this fill. And this part here, I right click and pick rename to rename these pieces. This one starts with a crash, and then I've got two pieces of my main beat here. That one. So those work nicely together as a unit, but I'm going to actually move these over here out of the way, and you see how this works using these as my main beat. Not too bad. There's something a little bit doesn't quite match with that piano part there. Maybe just this is all I need. Yeah, I kind of like that. And then I'm going to use this piece that I called fill. And I'm going to come off of that into crash when I start the next section. And then I'm going to grab this, and holding down shift, I select that range. And then I'm just hit C for copy. And I'll go right here and hit V for paste. And now I've built about 8 bars of a part. And maybe I'll take this again, C, put it here, V. And I'm going to duplicate this with Command D. I'll hit return to rewind. So from a couple of loops that didn't match, I've built a little song section that I could now sing over, or start to come up with lyric ideas for singing over this. And you could do the same thing with your own playing, obviously, you know, pick up your guitar or something. So that was, again, using the nice Hip Hop Anonymous beat part. So you can learn more about that by going to totalcontrolaudio.com. Or you can go to BitVibe. I have that up here, and learn more about that type of content. And so thanks for watching. I hope this is helpful. Let me know if these are helpful. I know that normally we're talking about lyrics and songwriting software, but sometimes it's interesting to also talk about the software that you use for recording. And because that's a big part of what many singer-songwriters and songwriters in general are doing, is using that along with Lilac Writer for the lyrics. Because once you have something like this, you can quickly create an MP3 file, and then maybe upload that to the file section of Lilac Writer and share that with one of your co-writers to get, to start to get some ideas going. So that's it for Pro Tools tips number 3.